Welcome.
Y que aquí te ofrecemos, Señor, que la luz de tu gloria la ilumine hacia el paraíso. Acepta este cordero en ti, arrastrado por la furia y el pecado, y acógenos en el paraíso y en tu seno inmaculado. Oh Señor, nuestra guía es
Hey everyone, welcome back to Cold Outbreak, and today we will be diving into the world of Resident Evil and exploring the enigmatic secret society known as the Los Illuminados. If you're a fan of the Resident Evil series or just love unraveling the mysteries of groups just like this one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Now let's get started. Los Illuminados, which translates to the Enlightened Ones, is a mysterious cult that plays a significant role in Resident Evil 4's storyline. The secret society is based in a remote region of Spain and is led by the charismatic and sinister Osmond Saddler. But what is the true purpose of Los Illuminados? And how did they come to wield such power? We will be answering these questions soon enough. Stay tuned, guys. Traditions place the Los Illuminados as the continuation of an ancient primal religion and was likely related to a civilization that once thrived in the caverns beneath the Salazar family castle. Though it is not proven, lineage has been found. Los Illuminados' beliefs are centric in nature, drawing heavily from the Roman Catholics, but incorporating human sacrificial ceremonies, just like an occult. The core values of the Los Illuminados is the belief in Plaga as a holy creature given to humanity by God, and the parasites as members of a traditional requirement of initiation. Once a large community in Spain, the Los Illuminados saw repeated state-sanctioned inquisitions which reduced survivors to in living exile. Once a large community in Valdelobos, Los Illuminados saw repeated state-sanctioned inquisitions which reduced the survivors to living in exile. As conversions took place in the 90s under Prophet Osmond Saddler, however, have since been largely eradicated due to their ties to paramilitary violence in the region. Following a 2004 American-led operation to rescue Ashley Graham, Valdelobos has been sealed by the Spanish government, and surviving Los Illuminados members continue on in exile once more. Accounts differ as to the timing, though each agree that the Los Illuminados was worshipped by many openly in Valdelobos, until a series of government-sanctioned massacres were undertaken by Giorgio Salazar I. Giorgio Salazar I planned to restore Catholic supremacy in the region. In some accounts, Los Illuminados existed in the region prior to the Reconquista and suffered persecution from the late 15th century. Other accounts, however, place Los Illuminados as an emerging post-Reconquista and being destroyed in the 18th century. Assuming the latter, it emerged as a hetero-Christian sect by 1554, as dated by an inscription from the prophet, and was destroyed in 1741 during the time of Prophet Hester Saddler. The Salazar family committed themselves for centuries in preventing a re-emergence, while the descendants of Elder vowed to succeed.
I've been waiting for you, rookie. Oh, we're
Worried about the girl, is that it?
In the late 90s, the Los Illuminados saw a revival under the leadership of Prophet Osman Sadler. Sadler has changed the practices of the Los Illuminados, seeking to use technology as a means of proselyticism. Taking the guise of a healer, Sadler was able to make his way into B.O.Ws on the offer of treating him to infirm Ramon Salazar, 8th Count of the B.O.Ws. In exchange, Salazar grew up and idolized him and converted. In doing so, he ordered that the caverns beneath the castle be opened to allow Sadler to access the Plaga remains that was fossilized in these big yellow crystals. Sadler cloned these Las Plagas parasites that was fossilized using technology in his lab to recreate the plagas and begin to spread it throughout the village and all the surrounding areas in Spain. Also, one thing to note too is that once Salazar opened up the caverns, once Sadler and his crew were excavating the crystals and the fossils, a whole bunch of plaga spores were inhaled by his crew as well as Sadler as well. Several of the miners who inhaled the spores began to feel sick sometime after the excavation began and were in a state of regenerating new complete bodies. Using these plagas, Sadler perfected the ability to reproduce the organism and took the implanting of plaga eggs into new hosts. Once Sadler began to take note of everything that's been going on, he would somehow recreate all the Las Plagas parasites and spread it amongst his followers in the cult. But Sadler would not stop there. He would begin infecting the whole population in the surrounding area to bring more people into his cult. So soon after all of his followers were infected, Sadler would infect himself with a dominant strand of the parasite. Due to infecting himself, including his lieutenants with the dominant strand of the virus, him, Salazar, as well as the Big Cheese take control of the Granados and tell them what to do. Even though all of his lieutenants are infected with a dominant strand, they still all answer to Osman Sadler. After all the villagers were infected, they would return to life as normal as possible while doing farming, cult services, and attending the local church. They could also be acting as guards for Salazar's castle or working for the mines. The cult zealots engage in dark rituals as well as sacrifices in the name of Sadler by kidnapping people who are passing by the region, like hikers, and they are killing them. The animals from the farm also started becoming weaker and dissected due to the decrease in the villagers' intelligence and hygiene, causing them to be unable to properly care for them.
So tell me, Yankee, why did you come to this horrible place? As close to nowhere that I've ever seen.
Let's just say, looking for someone.
Sometime before autumn 2004, an American agent named Jack Krauser, while secretly working for Albert Wesker, arrived at the village in search of the parasite. He was later used to kidnap Ashley Graham, the daughter of the United States President Graham, as part of Illuminados' plot to do no less than take over the entire world by infecting Ashley and returning her to her father with the aim of influencing the United States executive branch. Sadler noted, however, that in order to take over the US, the parasites would need to spread to those with influence over the president's decisions, Congress, the Department of Justice, the military government agencies, and the large private companies. Sadler's plan B was to use the paramilitary to infiltrate the United States and sow discord from within, likely gaining converts to Los Illuminados as they want. Ada Wong, an agent for an unnamed organization and subordinate to Wesker, destabilized Plan B when she sank the militia's warship docked within the island. Following the death of Salazar by the hands of Leon Scott Kennedy, the infected Ganados on the island started dying from the parasites. Inside of them, due to Sadler's master Plaga being killed, and were all killed when the island was destroyed. The remnants of the Los Illuminados remained active in Spain for years following the 2004 raid.
Campana. Hay que obedecerla.
Él nos invoca. Tenemos.
The remnants of the Los Illuminados remained active in Spain for the following 2004 raid. Although they were greatly hindered by the death of Sadler and the condemnation of the wider world, the Spanish government enacted heavy sanctions, sending in a squad to exterminate those who were deemed to have been carrying the parasite, and imposed a quarantine against the Illuminados' homestead due to the threat posed by wild Plaga, which continued to infect many of those who returned home. While many of the Illuminados continued to live in relative peace under lockdown, being self-reliant and seldom disturbed by outsiders, a small devout sect chose to instead to seek revenge against Kennedy and the United States government. Puerto Rico, who had spent several years living in the United States as a mole for American intelligence organizations such as the Division of Security Operations, which was contacted by the family in 2014. Having been under heavy scrutiny and investigation by Kennedy in the fall of 2012 through 2013, the global bioterrorist attacks, the family provided Puerto Rico and the Illuminados enough information to stage a bioterror attack in Washington, D.C. through an investigation of Maryland Senator Steve Ayer, leading to the death of an entire metropolitan SWAT team and 3 government employees in a car bombing. Not long after, the Illuminado sect allied themselves with an arms dealer named Glenn Arias, assisting him by providing specimens of Plaga for use in development of the A virus, which he planned to use in a bioterror attack on New York City. Fearing the safety of his wife and daughter, Puerto Rico tracked down Kennedy to a hotel for help. Puerto Rico was shot in an attack on the hotel by one of Arias' agents named Diego Gomez, and died before he could give significant amount of information. Arias' attack was successful though. The surviving victims were cured when a vaccine was produced and distributed by Chris Redfield and Rebecca Chambers. Followers of Los Illuminados regularly congregate in dedicated places of worship. Several are known to have existed in the area. In the village, an existing chapel was converted for rituals, and the ringing of its bells was a symbolic call to worship. A cave on the other side of the quarry was also used for the purpose of human sacrifice. The cult also operated a Mosaic order based within Salazar Castle. Monks dubbed cultists were clothed in black, purple, and red robes identifying rank, with some wearing metal masks or masks made from goat skulls. Among these Ganados, ritualistic tattooing was common, though their heads were normally concealed. The monks are known to have been bald and of pale skin, but how much is to do with the parasites is uncertain. These monks also had their own rituals and would pray before a blood-stained knife with the cultic symbol decorated on the hilt. Los Illuminados controlled a dedicated paramilitary group known merely as combatants. These individuals were stationed on the island and served as a stronger layer of protection for the group's bioweapons research. The military group was crippled by the actions of Ada Wong and Leah Scott Kennedy. The militants are heavily armed and heavily protected with bulletproof vests, helmets, and they come equipped with like stun rods or even batons, as well as RPGs and Molotovs. These guys are well organized in the way they go about engaging the enemy during combat. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this long video. This is my longest video I've ever done, and I appreciate you guys for showing love and support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for my next lore video.